Ephraim, your dad got cataracts?
My dad did, but he didn't get them like put on.
Hey, it's a choice, man. You never know what role Reed Birney is playing.
I'd like some cataracts.
He got cataract surgery. He got them taken off. Or at least one. He still has another one, just in case he liked the other way. Because that's
He's
how
trying to determine which one he likes better.
Yeah, and there was a whole day like where he was like, "Oh, I don't know." But yes, he's recovering. He's recovering well. Everybody. He has his funny, like sunglasses that cover his whole face.
Big old
like Cyborg. Yeah, or Cyclops. Who's the guy? Yeah, it's Cyclops.
Cyclops. Yeah.
That does that. No, he's still just his old cantankerous self.
I was gonna say. I can't imagine trying to take away the sight from Reed Birney. He's not gonna be happy. He's already grumpy the way as is.
Well, he's enjoying. He says that it's one of the coolest things because like all of a sudden, all this stuff that you didn't even realize you couldn't see, it's back like that. Really? So it's a pretty cool feeling.
Oh,
nice.
I'm gonna do it myself.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what?
I'm gonna put them on and then take them off.
Get your dad's cataracts put on your eyes.
There you go.
So you can experience his world and then have them taken
I
off.
always said I wanted to see life through my father's eyes, and this is what I meant.
amazing.
Logan, do you have the L on your coffee cup? I have the same one.
I do, yeah.
I have an R. I just got an R one.
I have an E.
This one says nurses, the heart of healing. I'm appreciated.
I love that.
You know a nurse?
Clearly, I'm at my girlfriend's house. I have this little girl's room. Clearly, I'm at my girlfriend's house, and her mother's a nurse, so that's what coffee.
Amazing.
Very sweet.
You're like, hey, babe, I just need to steal your bedroom for like an hour so I can talk to these 3 other idiots.
By the way, this is going to be the worst podcast so far. I already know, because I don't watch anything. Ask any movie that like you must have seen this. I haven't seen it. I don't right?
You watched Gone with the Wind.
I did watch Gone with the Wind. I was doing this thing, right? And I'm still going to do it. I said, okay, because I haven't seen anything, I'm going to go through, I'm going to watch every Academy Award Best Picture winner in chronological order.
You started with Gone with the Wind and then stopped.
No, I started in 1929, I believe it is. It's Wings.
Yeah, you watch Wings.
And here's the thing that they don't tell you. Movies weren't very good back then. They weren't good.
Took a while for them to get their groove going.
There's not a lot of dialogue going on back then.
They weren't very good at all.
It's like
I said, that's not saying much.
When
the credits roll in the beginning.
Wait, say again?
When you finished watching Gone with the Wind, you texted me afterwards. You're like, I just finished it. I'm like, what'd you think? He says, I don't get all the hype. Why does everybody like this movie so much?
It was a pretty movie, but I was like, geez, this is like 4 hours long. We get it.
It's really long.
Yeah.
I've not seen it.
Now that we have sufficiently insulted early day Hollywood, hi everyone, and welcome to the Blackwolves Packcast. We're very excited to be here with 2 special guests today. But before I let them introduce themselves, I'm going to introduce us. My name is Logan Riley Bruner.
Oh, hey, I'm Jacob Wade.
And we are joined by 2 boys who you may know from their popular web series, Straight White Guilt. You may also know them from the series that never came out, Clickbait the Show, and from their crazy Let's Plays / podcast series. We have the boys from Bellhop.
That was the best introduction we have ever received.
This was all a trap to eviscerate us.
Wow.
You know,
Been slammed.
I was thinking beforehand, you guys ever watch like Mickey's House of Mouse growing up?
Oh, big time.
Do you remember the episode where it got taken over by the bad guys? And it was Mickey's House of Villains. That's this episode of the Packcast.
Well, Bellhop Productions are our villains.
The Bellcast.
The Bellcast. Oh, that might have to be the name of the episode, the Bellcast.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Real scary.
Very terrifying.
Our names, I'm Ephraim. Uh,
I'm Ryan.
you can see our little names in the corners.
Are you guys like Cher? Do you just like Ephraim and Ryan, or?
I go by Ephraim sometimes.
I request that people only call me Ryan.
Great.
No.
That's gonna make this podcast super easy. It's just like us calling you by each other's names.
Who's who?
It's a real who's who.
Yeah, guys, thanks for having us. This is very sweet.
Yeah.
It's very, we're longtime fans of your content. You did what we could never do, which was post consistently.
Yeah, we did our 10 weeks and we said, all right, moving on.
Look, guys, it's a marathon, not a race.
Yeah. We're doing it in tandem. We're doing it together now. We're a team.
It's all about teamwork. The dream doesn't work without teamwork,
No, not at all.
Amen.
So I'd love to get into a little bit about how like we all met and how you became affiliated with Blackwolves. But first, so that we don't forget, because we totally forgot to do it last week. In terms of housekeeping, there's not much new. Jacob and I have been working on acoustic covers for the past 3 weeks. We worked again yesterday. Other than that, keep an eye on the podcast. We're doing this weekly, and we got some cool guests. We're very excited about the people we have going on. I'm really happy with this episode. I'm really glad that we were able to get you boys on. I've known these two clowns for years and years and years, and so it's an absolute pleasure whenever I get to joke around with them for a little bit.
I saw Logan when he was, I wouldn't say it, he was a newcomer on the scene. Like he was blowing up. He was people were talking about him all over the place at professional performing
arts school.
Mm-hmm. I think the first thing, it was Shakespeare. It was Much Ado About Nothing. Was the first one.
I did it with your sister.
Mm-hmm. And she was the young little ingenue.
Yeah, I was originally supposed to be Claudio, with Jacob being Benedict. But then, Jacob didn't actually want to do the show. And so I played Benedict, and a friend of both Gus and I, Kyle, ended up playing Claudio.
Kyle, yeah. And then ever since, you were doing shows around, you didn't do too much at PPAS because you were smarter than that. But
I did too.
Yeah, you did some. You did a couple.
I did Midsummer in high school, and then I did Baguette Fall of a High School Ronin.
That's right. Well, Jacob, you were in that too. This is fascinating for Ryan. Ryan was just like,
I'm like, I went to Catholic school. I was Jesus in the Passion Play.
Were you really?
I was.
It was good.
But here's the thing. It wasn't a real play. It was, so I would walk around and mime Jesus moments, which also didn't work because I was a little fat kid. It's like, Jesus wasn't fat. At any rate, it's like they would have people
find a picture of him
on the cross. And you know how Jesus says, "It is finished." And after he drinks his wine, whatever, and I would have to go. And the narrator would be like, "It is finished," and I have to die.
They didn't even trust you with your own dialogue. They were ADRing you live.
They were ADRing live. But yeah, I did go to Catholic school. They really do beat it out of you. But go ahead. back to the theater.
My only other thing was that I saw you do. Well, I didn't see you do this, but I was around when I heard tell of when you were doing Lemon Sky, or you were with me and Ryan's good friend Kevin Kilner.
Yeah.
Kevin Kilner.
It was my first off-Broadway show that I ever did.
Yes, you did it. It wasn't the Irish Rep, was it?
No, Irish Rep was way later. That was a Keen Company. That was where I got my equity card. That's where I became a union member.
Maybe you do a little how-to section during the show.
Audition for a lot of stuff. Have somebody like you and offer you an equity card.
See, that's already where I wouldn't get that far. Have somebody like me.
Period. And
unlikable.
Yeah.
So yeah, we went to school together, and then, if I'm not mistaken, the first time that I ever knew you two working together was actually a movie that my dad did.
That's right. We were the replacements for you two.
Yeah.
You remember?
Originally, it was supposed to be me and Jacob, but we were off at college. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what happened?
We were off at college.
You guys did a movie, huh?
We did. It all started because you guys were too good for the movie, and he had to call in the backup team.
That's amazing. How'd it turn out, guys?
Sloppy seconds. And
that movie was fun.
I still have a lot of pride in us having done that movie together.
I do too.
there's a review that at one point I actually really liked it, but they said those two guys have a future in fast food.
I've never read this review.
This day, it's my favorite thing that I saw somebody post on Amazon.
It got the Amazon reviews were always a fun read.
Oh, Amazon reviews are hilarious.
They liked the movie. They were brutal about me and Ryan's performance.
Oh yeah.
Jeez.
Is it still on Prime or Amazon?
I tried watching it the other day. I think he might have taken it down.
Maybe.
You watched it the other day?
I tried watching it the other day. I still like when I have friends come over, I'm like, you want to see this thing that me and Ryan did way back when? And I put it on. He like put them all together. He made like a movie version out of all of them. So he probably wants to save anything like that for if he were to ever like put that online, or I don't know. I don't know how it would work, but that kind of thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it was really fun. But like me and Ryan we weren't really even talking to each other in between takes when we were there. We were just like, who's this guy?
Yeah, it was, but it started something, and then like whenever it started our relationship.
The attraction was there.
Exactly.
The bond.
The bond was there. Yeah, exactly.
And then like, we would run into each other at auditions, and that's when we started hanging out. And then Clickbait came along. I should probably hand the reins over to you if you want to tell the story of Clickbait.
Well, that's too long and not fun.
Rabbit hole.
Rabbit hole. But what I say to people when I talk about like me and Ryan becoming buddies that first time was when we were making Clickbait, there were all these people that were coming out of the woodwork, and they were like, this is how much I want to be paid for this, and this is how much, and and they wouldn't read the script, they didn't care about the stuff. It was a bad scene. But Ryan saw the Indiegogo thing, reached out to me over Facebook, and he says, how can I help out? I just want to be involved in any way I can. And he came over. How embarrassing.
Yeah.
No, but no, he came over, and I remember sitting down. You sat across from me. It was the first time you saw this ridiculous apartment that I live in.
For those who Ephraim's apartment is the wildest thing you'll ever see in your life.
I mean, you can see right now. I've got my circus stripes in the background here.
So I mean this in the nicest way possible. It's so fucking weird. It's just a fucking escape from reality. It's nothing like you'll ever see. I can't even begin
to
describe.
I feel about my apartment
and stuff.
Sure. Hannah has described it as, I should stop quoting Hannah because she doesn't want me to be quoting her. But she said it's like if a museum fucked a Cracker Barrel.
That's pretty good.
Wow.
That's great.
But Ryan came over and we sat across from each other and we were just spitballing ideas for characters that he could play. And by the end of the day, he was like my best buddy. Like I was like, I have to have him involved with all of this because for one, I don't like anybody else involved in the creative process here, but also like he just gets it. He got what I like doing.
This is getting uncomfortable. This is
he was putting in the work. I think
Come on now.
But yeah, no, it was fun. If we are getting sentimental, it was weird, and like the first time, I'm pretty sure either of us had like a spitballing session that was comfortable.
Yeah.
We had done them before with other people, and it was hard.
Yeah.
It was exhausting and painful. And it was the first time I was like, oh, this is fun.
We're supposed to enjoy doing this.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm sure you guys had that Eureka moment too when you guys work on, you guys work a lot on, you have all these different projects and ideas, and I'm sure there's like half of the fun is sitting down and kind of planning them.
Yeah. I mean, me and Jacob had known each other for like 6 years when we first like collaborated on something. And it was one day he was in rehearsal for a show that I was assistant directing. And we just started like goofing around about this zombie apocalypse show that we thought was fun. And by the end of like 20 minutes, we had 3 episodes like blocked out in our heads. And it was just like, oh, this could be a thing that we keep doing. And then we just started working together more and more consistently, and it just kind of went from there.
Do you guys have like, because Ephraim and I, every time we go to plan a show or something, we do the same exact thing. and it's the cheapest thing where we'll sit down and I have a notebook that has loose leaf paper in it, and I'll rip it into it. So I'll end up with a stack of like, craggly, wrinkled up loose leaf papers.
Yeah.
We'll write down thing by thing on each one on a table, and we'll break it. That's how we'll break it down in scenes, and we'll order stuff and we'll add.
Oh, wow.
Stuff. And we do
That's
that every
creative.
time. Do you guys have like a ritual? that you do?
Not really. It's more just like
You draw a circle on the ground and say some chant.
This is after some chanting, some Gregorian.
Yeah. We gotta do the ritualistic sacrifice. No, I mean, me and Jacob, really, it's a lot of times just me coming up with something kind of crazy and then going to him and being like, how does this sound? Does this feel like it could be something? And then he just starts asking me questions about it.
It's the way you're like, what do you think of the name Spotlight?
Honestly, I was like, I want to do a TV show about how insane college theater was.
Yeah.
But I want to do it like Succession. And he was like,
I still argue, and this is the big thing that I for you, but also keeps me going with our show Res Life, is that that college shows about college are so like few and far between, and they're always like Animal House, like no one has done
like Community.
Yeah. With like no one has done that age group. They're always making shows like Euphoria, like which is about teenagers, which is a completely different thing, but they're putting it like through the guise of like, oh, this is what like, college people are.
Yeah, I've noticed that. There's a lot of that. Like there was a movie that I was watching the other week that I really noticed it in. Is that someone made a TikTok a long time ago that was like how to tell if adults have written a high school movie. And it was like, if you have any character that walks out and is like, you're a fucking narc because you're not going to do cocaine with us. It's like, okay, this was not written by a teenager. Or someone.
I'll have you know, I said that to all my friends.
All of them. But there is that feeling of like, why are we doing all these shows about kids doing like coke and heroin in high school when I really knew that like hard drugs started was like when I got to college.
Yeah.
Like in high school, had someone come up to me and been like, do you want to do Molly? I would have been like, I don't smoke weed.
You would have been like, who's Molly?
Yeah.
You know what's a good college movie? 22 Jump Street.
Yeah.
22 Jump Street is a great college, but even that in the
they're
same
not teenagers.
Community, they're not that, they're not actually that age.
Right.
They're
It's
like-
like I haven't seen that one yet. I'm still catching up.
They're entering the environment.
Yeah. It's interesting. They have this strange, Hollywood has a strange aversion to.
It has to be some kind of money because it would be so easy to do. Because I'm sure every college student has written whether it's a movie or a TV series about college that's like more inauthentic than the shit that exists. So it has to be some money demographic thing where it probably just isn't. I wonder if the audience just isn't big enough, or they don't think they're there.
I think there's also just that layer of like, okay, college, you have like college drama, right? But if you're doing a high school movie, you have like high school drama plus trying to figure out how to get into college, plus you're still at home. So there's family drama. It's like there's more to kind of build off of.
Sure.
Whereas college, if you're like, they have problems at home, every audience member is like, well, just don't call your parents.
Yeah. Also, like if you make a mistake in college, some people are like, oh, they're old enough to
They should know better.
know better.
Yeah. Which is insane that it's like you can put a 19-year-old in a movie and have people be like, they should know better. They're an adult.
Yeah. I don't know. It's an interesting kind of, because I also like my argument. If you ever listened to the Hear Us Out podcast, me and Ryan.
Highly recommend. Great podcast. They have this really funny episode on what happened with clickbait. I've listened to that podcast about 7 times.
It'll come back eventually. I'm moving, right?
Yeah.
And once I get my new place, we're planning on putting out more and more stuff. We're gonna get back. Our last upload on Bellhop was how long ago? It was probably who knows.
2012.
I mean, last time we sat down with Ephraim, Jacob and I were like, hey, if you guys want like camera people for Straight White Guilt, like we're happy to help. And Ephraim just went, someone behind the camera? We can't comprehend it. We're also looking for writers for Straight White Guilt.
I like what you guys do with it.
I'm not straight, but I do fulfill the white part, so I can.
It's all about the guilt, really.
Yeah,
You
it's
gotta
all
have
the
one
Bad
guilt.
about yourself. Yeah.
Yeah,
Guilt, period.
you don't have to be straight or white as long as you have guilt. You're good.
Love it.
And know how to write for the two of us.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's the dynamic. I'm the crazy one, and he's not.
Yeah. Ephraim says something ridiculous, and I go, what?
What?
That's the joke.
Before we get too distracted with other things, there's one topic that I do actually want to talk to the two of you about. And it is kind of in that world of someone says something crazy and everyone else says what?
Okay.
It's the only topic that I have for this week because I knew that we were just going to fuck around and talk for like an hour because that's just who we are. So the Anthony Bourdain documentary came out this week.
Oh, I know where this is.
Amazing man. Absolutely love him. I think you do know where I'm going with this, Ryan, because you do editing. So the documentary filmmaker claims that there were 3 lines of dialogue that were written out by Anthony Bourdain, but never said by him before his death.
Okay.
So they used artificial intelligence to have him say that.
No.
How do we feel about that?
Oh, no.
So basically, that's basically the story, is that the director wanted these lines in the movie. He used artificial intelligence to make the lines happen. He says that he talked to Anthony Bourdain's estate and they approved it. Anthony Bourdain's widow says that is not true. And a lot of people that knew Anthony Bourdain are like, he would have a serious problem with this. So that's kind of where that situation is sitting right now.
That makes my stomach do little knots all over. That's just
if I'm playing devil's advocate,
okay.
It's 3 lines. It's 3 lines in a big fucking documentary. You know, like
What were the lines? What did he say? Was it like "May the Force be with you" or something?
That's what I'm saying. It's also not like, it's probably not some big conspiracy, and he did write them apparently.
Yeah.
So like, if I'm playing devil's advocate, let's calm down.
Not as bad as it's been. It's not.
No. It's not
Like,
full
but
AI.
The fact that it's a documentary, that's kind of not okay. The integrity of what documentary means, there's a certain integrity that comes with it.
My mom brought up a good point when I brought this up to her, is you could easily just like hire. There are so many voices in Hollywood that would be so good for that moment of just like, Anthony Bourdain could not say these things before he passed away, but he wrote down, and then just have a really good narrator.
Just put
read
them
it
on the screen. You could put the text up.
Yeah.
That's what we did,
it's just that like recreation of people who have died. Is like, I felt kind of the same way listening to the Pop Smoke album yesterday. Was like, there is a very uncomfortable feeling listening to new releases from someone who has passed away.
Yeah.
It's tricky.
Yeah. When I watched the last of the Star Wars trilogy, this newer time around, when they brought Carrie Fisher back for it.
Weird.
I was like, not only is this so disturbing, but also how they kill her off halfway through the movie anyway. I was just like, just start with the funeral.
Yeah.
You didn't need to do this, but you did, because you wanted to make a spectacle out of showing off that you could do it. And that's when I'm really kind of like, that's grody.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen The Sopranos?
Yes.
You remember at the end of season 2, this was a spoiler.
Uh-oh.
Am I going to get punished?
You're good.
Oh, please.
Put a big censor bar over your mouth.
Too. That midway through the season, shooting the season, Livia Soprano, Tony Soprano's mother, the actress, I forget her name, she passed away. So at the end, they do, and this was it must have been 2004 or whatever. They did bad virtual reality, and they used scraps from a scene that they cut, and it's just like her head floating in this chair, talking to Tony Soprano. You can YouTube it. Be like Olivia Soprano. They had to and they totally changed the season. And I think everybody should do that. I think everyone should do bad green screen work, or it's just her head. And like the scene kind of didn't make sense.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah, no, it's totally weird. If you go back and it's like the episode before she actually dies.
Yeah.
The script, you'll see her and you'll be like, wait, hold up. It's like blurry around it. Why is she sitting that way? And it's because it's a green screen.
Wow.
That's cool.
All right.
Also really weird.
It's creative though.
It was creative, but they had no choice.
I know.
You know,
Oh, it's always so uncomfortable.
That's kind of the same way I feel about like de-aging actors. It's like there's such a we've seen brilliant performances from actors being younger versions of characters.
Yeah.
Just let younger actors play the character.
I don't know. I think it's really cool, guys. I really like it when like I see like young Robert Downey Jr. in a Marvel movie, or like when they unage what's his name? He has like throat cancer. What's his name? That actor. You know who I'm talking about.
Robert Downey Jr.
No.
See, but like Robert Downey Jr. in, was that Winter Soldier or Iron Man 3?
That is Winter Soldier. Yeah, when well, I do it in Iron Man.
No, it's Civil War when he's young.
Oh, that's like one moment. I'm talking like The Irishman, where it's like we're gonna do an entire movie with these guys young, but I just want to work with Robert De Niro, so I'm gonna have him play the young version of this character.
You don't like when Robert De Niro has a young man's face, but he's walking around like he's on crutches.
Yeah.
You don't like that?
And it's like,
personally,
it's funny because in the movie, he's supposed to be 35. He's supposed to be like early 30s.
Yeah.
And it's like, buddy, even with the de-aging, you're about 50 now.
Yeah.
It doesn't go that far.
But then we see like trailers for the new Sopranos prequel with James Gandolfini's son playing the young version of Tony. And it's like, this is how you do it. I don't need the cast from The Sopranos to come back and get de-aged. Just hire new actors.
Yeah.
Have the cast come back as like resources to be like, hey, I played this character for 8 seasons. Here's what you need to know about where they start. But
do you think they'll be able to do it again with the reboot of The Sopranos? That kind of scares me.
What do you mean?
Like they're bringing his son in to play him at like young version of him, right?
That's for a movie, not a series.
For a movie. But do you feel like they'll be able to capture like what they did? It's been so long.
I think it's going to be hard, but I think growing up watching your dad do, and maybe Ephraim, you would actually have some insight into this, like watching your father.
I hope nobody ever asked me to play a part my dad played.
Ever?
I want
to play the young version.
I want to play the young version of him in Casa Valentina when they were all in drag. That's the only part I'll do.
Let's have you play the young version of him in The Humans. Let's do that.
Wow. You're making The Humans movie.
I know, with like none of the original people.
None of the original people. Well, they got Jane with Amy Schumer's.
Yeah, she's producing it.
Now why is this becoming a movie?
Because Amy Schumer wanted to play the part.
She did. She came during the run of it, and she checked it out, and she's like, "Yeah, I think I would like to do that."
But she didn't want to do it on. She didn't want to do it on Broadway. She wanted to make a movie version of it.
Yeah, you do the movie version. And it's got Beanie Feldstein. She's the Sarah Steele part, and Stephen Yeun is the Arian's part. It'll be. I think Stephen Yeun would be very good.
Yeah, I think he's gonna.
I feel like Beanie is kind of young.
Oh yeah.
For that part. Look at Ryan's face right now.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know who any of these people are.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Robert Downey Jr.
I know that name.
Uh-huh. But why don't we conclude our thoughts on Anthony Bourdain?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, we'll come back around. I don't think it's as bad as it could have been, but I'd say there's certainly more tact ways they might have done that.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly opens up a can of worms, but at the same time, like the can has already been open. Like, you remember that viral video of like, it was like Jordan Peele, like he was voicing Obama. And with virtual, it looked like a video of Barack Obama saying shit, and they cut away. It's like, no, this is an edited video
of fake. Yeah.
Fake. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like that video was like, this video is like 5 years old. Like, we've been here. What's the difference at the end of the day? It's just that it's a documentary, but it's 3 lines.
I think my biggest thing is like the like putting words into other people's mouths just feels weird. I get the deep fakes. I've had issues with deepfakes over the years, but like my big issue is just the thought of being married to somebody and then watching a documentary and hearing them say something and being like, I know for a fact that they didn't say that. I feel like that would make me feel weird.
Has anybody ever done a deep fake of you, Logan?
I've never seen a deep fake of me. I'm terrified of that, honestly.
I'm gonna make a deep fake of you.
Gosh. Make me say the worst shit in the world. Just like
we're gonna do 2 guys of you, and then the next Bellhop Hear Me Out podcast will just be the 2 of you guys.
Nice.
Did anyone see that movie with? I'm sure. I don't think anybody did, but like they did Will Smith.
I saw that movie. I saw it on a date.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
Wait, what are we talking about? Are we talking about Gemini Man?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Gemini Man. Yes. I did not see that movie.
It looks so not right. It looks so not right.
Yeah.
Like I was watching it and I was just like, that no.
What a funny movie to go on a date with.
Well, see, like it was around that time that nothing was coming out. And like we had both made like 4 or 5 suggestions that the other person wasn't interested in. Yeah. And we were like, Gemini Man? And then we were like, sure. And in my head, I was like, it's not really a movie I'm going to pay attention to. So I don't really mind going on a date to this movie.
Sure.
I ended up watching the whole movie. It was kind of.
Was it good? What'd you think?
It was okay.
Good action movie.
I think they should cast me and Ephraim as both Will Smiths.
I absolutely agree. I think if you've watched Game of Thrones, any feelings that you had about the writing in the last season is how you'll probably feel about the writing in the last act of Gemini Man.
Oh, so I'm not gonna like it.
That writer is not great at finishing stories.
Is it what? Is it those 2 guys? It's
it's one of
W.B. Du Bois or whatever.
W.B. Du Bois. Yeah, I think it's DB of the 2 of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, he wrote it, and I just got to the end, and I was like, oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Checks out.
That's a shame.
That's a shame.
You know, if you want to know my hot take for movies these days, because I watched 2 movies back to back in preparation for this, so we have something to talk about.
Amazing.
Because I knew Ryan wasn't going to watch anything.
This is like
make things worse.
it's like a soft transition into content we're consuming without like actually making the transition. So I appreciate it.
Here we go. I watched Quiet Place Part 2 finally, and I watched Tomorrow War.
Okay.
Oh.
My observation is that every alien these days looks the exact same. It's hairless dog with big long arms.
It's kind of the like Demogorgon look. It's the season 1 Demogorgon look.
The Demogorgon look.
Yeah, where the face just splits into 4 and it's just teeth.
Well, I'm just like, if you're gonna go, so I get that they're, you want to be scary and there's kind of a template now, but we're doing aliens. We can make them look whatever they want. Like, especially in Tomorrow War, because I liked Quiet Place Part 2. I didn't like Tomorrow War very much. But there's a moment in it that I thought was really, it made me laugh out loud in like not a good way, but it was like, they had all like, you see all these they're called the white spikes are the name of the aliens. And they're, these little hairless dogs that run around and shoot spikes at you out of a big long tail. And they build up the first act of the movie is all building up. They're like, listen though, they got a queen. They got the queen of the white spikes. And she's worse than all of them combined. They're like, how could she be worse than this? And they're like, she's scary. She's got all. It's just
she's mean.
Exposition.
Yeah. Like, it's nothing like you ever seen. And then you finally see her, and she looks exactly like all the other ones. She's just a little bigger. And I was like, what the fuck? If you went through all this trouble of like saying that she's nothing like we've ever seen. How do you mean? I've just seen 20 of her. They're all running around.
They're just small. Size does not change imaging.
It's like the animator's fault. Someone in the design department was lazy.
Yeah, and I'm sure that look, I'll blame producers until the end of the day, or who's ever in charge of the money, because that's where it all comes down from. I'm sure there was somebody in the design department who drew a sick ass design, and she had lasers, and she had all this crazy shit attached to her, and they're like, why fix what ain't broken? Huh?
How are they gonna know that she's the queen if she doesn't look like them?
Yeah, I don't know. But even like in real life, like, you know, anglerfish, the queens of the anglerfish, they look different. Look at Ryan's like, anglerfish ground.
That'll get some clicks.
Fish
Talk about anglerfish biology.
Exactly. I know a little bit about that. I know, and they look different. The boys and the girl fish, they look different. I feel like they could do something similar for these, you know, these Tomorrow War aliens. That's all I'm saying. And that's my piece for the day. I'll just quick exit.
Man, thanks for having me.
I'm watching one of your favorites with my girlfriend, Succession.
Ooh!
Oh!
We finished season 1. We're a couple episodes into season 2. Very good show.
Very good show.
Very good show. The one thing, it's really my fault at the end of the day because I'm too stupid to understand, but I feel like every scene is just like, I'm going to fuck you in business. My business, when I fucking get my business, you're going to be fucking dead. My business. I'm going to fucking destroy you with my business. And
you described the whole show.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I process
great.
it. Yeah, but it's the relationships are fantastic. It's fantastic show, but just like my fucking when I'm through with you, your business is, you're not gonna have a leg to stand on.
Oh, you think your business is gonna fuck me? Yeah. Oh, wait till my business fucks you.
Yeah,
you apply that to Spotlight. You're like, you think your theater's gonna fuck me? My theater's gonna fuck you first. I only watched a couple episodes. I need to get back to it. I'm somebody who will watch the first 3 episodes of a show I really like and then stop for no reason.
Yeah, you'll be like, I want to save it for like when I really want to watch it, and then you just don't.
But I loved the young guy from Sky High.
Yes, cousin Greg.
Cousin Greg, I love him.
Nicholas.
And the guy who runs the parks, the boyfriend.
Tom. Yeah. Who
with the 2 of them, they make me laugh.
It's weird seeing him play that part, especially since like I watched Succession before I watched Pride and Prejudice. And he plays
Succession before you watch Sky
High. That actor plays Mr. Darcy, and he's amazing in it. And then to watch him play Tom, who's like this bumbling idiot, is like, this is very different, and I love it.
He's good. That guy's good. The guy from Sky High is surprisingly good.
Oh, yeah, Nicholas Braun is amazing.
That was one of my favorite movies growing up.
Oh, me too.
I can still quote most of that guy's lines. And
nice.
Like, you know, he was the glow-in-the-dark guy. I'm like, look at you. Now you really are glowing in the dark.
I remember him from that movie Minutemen.
Minutemen. Was that
the Disney Channel original movie? It was a like time travel one.
They were
like they had to.
Oh yes.
Yeah, they created like a portal in the middle of their high school and had to like jump into it to save the world. Yeah, I like that one.
Sounds like Sky High.
Yeah, except it was about time travel and not superheroes.
I love the guy who's only ever seen Sky High. He's looking at another movie. He's like, this feels like Sky High.
Like this is very Sky High to me, guys.
I'm getting a very Sky
High.
Yeah.
You been watching anything else this week, Ephraim? Anything you want to suggest for our viewers?
I know me and Ryan are so terrible about
we really are. We can suggest some kick-ass YouTube videos.
We watch a lot of
tutorials.
YouTube. Yeah, we watch a lot of YouTube tutorials.
Ryan, I know you're watching a lot of industrial stuff because you're editing it all the time. You got any spots that you're working on that we should check out?
No. No. Anything that I edit, it should be deleted immediately. You shouldn't watch anything that I work on.
You watch a lot of lizard care videos.
Yeah, that's my latest rabbit hole. Is I watch. I'm big into reptile YouTube.
Okay.
I've never owned the reptile, but I watch videos about it.
I got a turtle in the other room. I could bring that in.
Oh yeah, I've seen your turtle. Your turtle's adorable.
Booby Bellhop.
Booby Bellhop is the name, and Booby Bellhop is the game. I don't know what else I've been watching. I watched those 2. Oh, I started watching Hacks with my family. I actually thought I was surprised. I usually don't like stuff about stand-up comedy because I feel like it's never. Whenever somebody has written out a line that is like people figuring out a joke, it never feels like truthful. But so little of that show is that. It's mostly about, these two women's character dynamics. And my friend Jackie is totally in love with Jean Smart. And so I had to, get all the
source
the
material.
the insider LGBTQ community jokes.
Amazing.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm liking it. I would recommend it.
Nice.
Yeah. And the girl's like a stand-up comic. She's new, but she's like really good. I think she got nominated for an Emmy or something like that.
Yeah. Hack's got a lot of nominations this year.
I know. There was a big outcry on Twitter that they stole from Dickinson. And I follow the Dickinson community very, very closely.
Yeah, I still gotta watch Dickinson.
Yeah, I watched the entirety of season 2, and I like it. Gus is great. She's so cool on that show, and the cast of that show is great. There were no snubs.
That's so sad. Not Dickinson.
I'm not trying. I don't want to be like a dick about it.
No shade.
No.
But there's there is a
Yeah.
I thought if any season of Dickinson was going to be nominated for an Emmy,
it would be the first one.
It's the first one. The first one was just incredibly strong and incredibly good, and the second one tried to hold that formula and just rocked a little too much.
Also, I'm willing to bet that Apple TV put all their chips in on Ted Lasso, and was
4 nominations per category.
They were gonna really just hammer home on that, which I feel bad because there were a lot of if you watch Servant, I think that's a great show on Apple TV that nobody's done anything with that.
I watched that. It was good.
Emmy stuff is not going to be good about kind of genre thing. I don't think they even Dickinson. I think you could say that because it's so tonally out there, it would be for them it would be a tough sell.
I think that's the hard part. What is Dickinson? Is it a comedy? Is it a drama? Is it a period piece? Is it? And the Emmys do comedy and musical in the same category, which
doesn't make any sense to me.
Because Hamilton got 7 Emmy nominations this year, and I was like, that's not a TV show.
No.
Yeah.
Or a movie made for television.
None of
it's on Disney Plus. It's not on TV.
Yeah. It's not even.
It's not a movie.
It's not a contender.
Put a camera on stage with them. That's it.
Yeah. That's annoyed me this entire award season is I get it. Hamilton was great. It deserved all the Tony nominations that it got. But can we really not find anything else on TV or in film that we think is as good as Hamilton? Are we saying that we have to film Broadway shows in order to get Emmy-worthy performances?
My whole conspiracy theory is that they're all working together to get Lin-Manuel and EGOT, and I'm not for it anymore. I'm like,
it's our time
give
to
us some
shine
space for a couple of white guys over here.
There's so much good stuff on television that there's no need to recycle Broadway shows that we recorded 2 years ago.
It's not being nominated this year.
Like a movie.
Yeah,
version.
it got nominated in this year's Emmys.
No, last year.
This year.
Huh? That makes no sense to me.
I'm pulling it up.
It was 2020 for sure.
I blame COVID. None of this would have happened if this is the worst thing that COVID did. No, it's confusing for sure.
Best actor in a limited series or movie: Paul Bettany, WandaVision; Hugh Grant, The Undoing; Ewan McGregor, Halston; Lin-Manuel Miranda, Hamilton;
Oh, they gave
Leslie
it to
Odom
Lin.
Jr., Hamilton.
No, that's
Oh,
wrong.
wait a minute.
That's just wrong.
Even in the category, wouldn't they do movies? They don't do Emmys. Doesn't do movies, right? It's just TV.
It's limited series or movie, because there are movies made for television, but that's supposed to be if you're a Hallmark movie that got put on the Hallmark channel.
Is WandaVision a limited series? They're not making another season of it?
Yeah, it's just that first season.
All right.
But then
Disney bought the whole thing. I don't believe it.
Yeah, it's frustrating to see 3 Hamilton nominations for Best Supporting Actor in a limited series.
Yeah.
Because I understand it, but Like my mom watched Mare of Easttown, which she said was amazing, and they got 2 nominations.
I watched Mare of Easttown. Do I have you all beat? Have any of you seen it?
I have not.
I haven't seen it.
You don't like it, do you?
My family watched it.
It's a good show.
Yeah, they liked it a lot.
It's a very good show.
They watched it without me. Otherwise, I would be here. I'd be laughing with you.
No, I liked it a lot. Her Pennsylvania accent, or whatever accent it is a little over the top. She needs to take it. She needs to.
You sound like someone who, like, you know, she's
like every other word. It's like, oh, I'm gonna be on my phone. I'm going home. And it's just like this is fake.
Did you see the SNL skit they did making fun of it, where it was called Murder Dirter? And it's like, somebody murdered my dirter. We went down by the worder and we found her. We found my dirter down there.
It's over the top.
Yeah.
There is actually one other thing that I want to say about the Emmys before we go back to content we're consuming. And it's just because we're on the topic. The nominations for like performance, right? They have outstanding lead actor in a comedy and outstanding lead actress, all of those. So they have a category for variety show.
Okay. Yeah.
There's 2 things nominated. It's SNL and I think Black Girl Sketch Show. But there's no acting categories for variety shows. So all the SNL people got nominated in the comedy category for like acting in SNL. And there's a category in the Emmys, which is outstanding guest performer, like outstanding guest star for an episode.
Yeah. And
9 of the 10 nominations are SNL hosts.
Well, they're not hosts, they're guests, right?
But like nights that they hosted is their outstanding guest star episode.
Yeah.
Is the night that they were the host.
Right.
Why don't they do it regularly? Why is it so confusing?
But like that category is supposed to be for like the guy that played Lenny Bruce in Maisel. Like you're there for 3 episodes, but you do something really strong. Not I hosted SNL. Let's give me an Emmy for doing that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
It is. It's really like
they ought to put us
open it up a little bit. Yeah. What'd you say, Ryan?
They ought to put us in charge.
They should listen to us.
Okay, give it to Bellhop Productions, and we'll make it. We'll both switch back and forth from shooting it.
So, you saw Hacks, yeah, Ephraim? You like Hacks?
Yeah, I was watching Hacks. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll see what you think about this.
Okay.
So guest actress in a comedy series, we have Jane Addams from Hacks.
Okay.
Yvette Nicole Brown for A Black Lady Sketch Show. Bernadette Peters for Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist. Issa Rae for A Black Lady Sketch Show. Maya Rudolph for SNL, and Kristen Wiig for SNL. I would say that what Maya Rudolph and Kristen Wiig did is different than what Bernadette Peters and Jane Addams did.
Jane Addams. Well, it's just completely what they're being asked for is completely different. Like I think it's kind of astonishing that like SNL people are being nominated in the comedy category. Not to say that it's not funny, but it's just completely different. Like
they're different jobs.
Yeah, especially like I went to see SNL live the other day, or not the other day, but a couple weeks ago, and like it's so different in the sense that you're not even usually playing anybody but yourself a lot of the time. Like the biggest laughs that SNL gets nowadays is when like they break character or they kind of acknowledge themselves a bit. And I'm just like, these are different jobs. And it's not to say one is different, is like better than the other, but it's like, give them credit where credit is due. Like,
if you're going to stack a category with 8 actors that are on sketch shows, then just make a sketch show category and nominate the actors that are in actual comedies that have scripts and are shows for the outstanding guest performer in a comedy.
I also think it's crazy if they have like just a sketch variety thing and they haven't nominated. I think you should leave, because that is like the only sketch thing that I actually think is
the only things nominated are A Black Lady Sketch Show and SNL.
I haven't watched a Black Lady Sketch Show, so I need to widen my variety. Clearly, I don't watch a lot of SNL. I think Murder Dirter is the best thing that they came up with. So I don't know. I just feel like there should be more. You have the opportunity to kind of introduce newer programs into the kind of cultural zeitgeist, and because that's what these award shows are ultimately for. That's the only reason I can see them like still using them. Don't just nominate the same shit every time. Let's look around. I think it's great that Black Lady Sketch Show is nominated, and that is like a newer thing like that. I don't know. I think it's crazy that it's still the same. It's still the same shows that are going over and over and over again.
Yeah. It was my problem the year that the 5 years that Modern Family won over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Is that there is a certain world for me of, if you're playing the same character and you won the Emmy last year, you shouldn't be nominated for the Emmy this year.
Yeah. You didn't, we get it. You're good.
As that character.
That performance was already nominated.
That performance, you're great. But I don't need, Ty Burrell is a fabulous comic actor. He's a fabulous actor. But to nominate his performance as Phil 4 seasons straight is is he doing something new, or do you just like this character?
Yeah.
And it's fine to like the character, but we know the performance is good.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's nominate Straight White Guilt.
Straight White Guilt is a variety show, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's not a good one.
Jacob, you watching anything new this week that you want to recommend?
I finished up Loki on Disney Plus. That was good.
Very good.
I haven't watched enough of the Marvel movies.
It's all right. That's fine.
Looks cool. It looks kind of like Doctor Who. Is that kind of the vibe?
Got that vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got that vibe.
Okay.
It really does. Yeah.
I didn't watch Doctor Who either, so
me either. I'm watching a bunch of Netflix murder docu-series.
Now you're speaking my
language. The Ripper.
That's a passion of mine.
Stuff like that. Yeah, I like seeing interviews and
what's the Ephraim, what did I watch? That show that I didn't really like about the with the dude who played the King of England in the dude.
Mindhunter.
Yeah. Mindhunter. I didn't like it. It was pretty slow.
Interesting.
You wanted it to be more talking to the serial killers and less
at-home drama. Yeah, no, I get that.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, it's so, yeah, exactly. It's we get it. Your wife is going to leave you. Just stop with this slow. She doesn't like you anymore. Go talk to the son of Sam.
Yeah.
Please.
He was fun. We liked him.
More of that.
We get it. You're the King of England. All right. You'll be back. I get it.
Yeah.
Other than that, I haven't been really watching anything and just listening to music.
Yeah,
I'm teaching myself acoustic guitar, Jacob. I want to be like you.
That's amazing.
You want to do acoustic covers?
Do it.
I do. Well, no. I first of all, none of you will ever see me play guitar, but my goal is hopefully by the time I'm 50, so I'm giving myself 30 years, I can play live music at a local bar to drunk mothers.
Cool. Nice. Good goal.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Just for free drinks. You don't have to pay me. Just give me a whiskey.
And I'll just that 150-year-old dude.
Brown-eyed girl for
I think that's fantastic.
Good goal.
It's a can-do attitude. I'd say.
Right. I would like to take this opportunity to transition to Reptile YouTube. Go back there.
Something that I am very passionate about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's all from me.
I'll finish this up. I am catching up on Formula One with Jacob. He's gotten me into Drive to Survive on Netflix. Very fun show. Finished Loki, loved it. I'm watching Lisi's Story on Apple TV Plus, which I am 5 episodes in and I still don't understand at all. But you know what? It's fun.
Yeah.
Fun in a very disturbing, horrific, brutal way.
Yeah.
I started The Magicians. I don't know if I'm going to continue that. It's kind of old.
Oh, that's the one with they do magic powers.
Yeah. So a buddy of mine showed me that. I started watching the anime version of Death Note, which I was actually kind of into. It was kind of cool.
Did you watch or read any of the Death Note? Was the one manga that I read.
I haven't read any of it.
Yeah, okay. Did you see the live one with
I did. I watched it first, and so now I'm watching the anime to see why everyone hated the live version. I mean, I had my thoughts on the live version and my kind of gripes with it, but
yeah.
my buddy Mike, who has been a guest on this podcast, had watched the anime, and he was just sitting next to me, just like the whole movie. So I'm like, let me watch the anime and see what I am missing out on.
Yeah.
I'm also watching Misfits and Magic still on Dimension 20, which makes me laugh a lot. And then, am I watching anything else? I don't think so.
That's a lot. That's more than I.
Yeah. Finishing Loki has taken a lot of my time, so that's been fun.
Those long episodes.
They're like an hour.
It's an hour. That's a lot of time.
They?
That's a lot of time with Loki.
And it was supposed to be 12 episodes, but because of COVID, they had to split it into 2 seasons.
I thought they were half-hour episodes. They're an hour long?
I think so. I might be wrong. They might just feel long.
You like Owen Wilson in it?
I do. I actually think he gives a really, really good performance. I think this is my favorite of the 3 Disney Plus shows so far.
Yep. So what is it? It's WandaVision and then Loki, and what's the other one?
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh, Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Which I thought was really good. I personally, I think they've only gotten better. I think WandaVision was really good, and then I thought Falcon and the Winter Soldier was like great, and I think Loki is really great. So like, I feel like they're climbing, which makes me happy.
Getting better.
Yeah.
When are they going to do one about Squirrel Girl?
Squirrel Girl? Yo, best superhero, period, no cap.
I'm going to watch one about Squirrel Girl. I'm hoping they let me audition for that one.
The thing I really want to see is Ironheart. That's what I really want to see.
Ironheart's, but see, like, that's actually going to be a cool story. Squirrel Girl is going to be, if that's anything but like just a silly little romp, I'm done. I don't want it to be anything but I want them to break their tone.
You don't want the serious Squirrel Girl story?
I want every day. I want it just to be like Eddie. Like, I want Squirrel Girl to just get into.
Must be animated 2D.
Yeah. She's trying to get 25 cents for a top breaker.
I love that. Oh man.
You want to write Squirrel Girl?
Yeah, write it, guys.
This is what it should be.
Write the animated version of Squirrel Girl.
You know, I wanted to do. I had a dream the other day where I was like, I want to bring back wacky races. I want to like make the reboot of Hanna-Barbera's Wacky Races. And I started putting down like, yeah, this is what it would be about. And I looked it up, and they fucking rebooted it already.
You're so, like, well,
you're too late.
It's done. I have to wait another 20 years for that to work.
Darn
shame. And it's not even that good. It's not even. It's like 100 episodes. It's like crazy amount of episodes, and I'd never heard of it. I was incredibly embarrassed. The whole thing.
Sorry for you, pal.
Sorry for your loss, my friend.
We'll find a new old like 80s IP to like reinvent.
To reboot.
Uh-huh.
They're bringing a lot of them back.
Care Bears.
You guys gonna watch Space Jam?
I'm going to see it today.
Wow. Today? You should have. We could talk about it.
It's I'm seeing it for our friend Lacey's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Lacey!
Happy birthday, Lacey. Lacey, I'm a little upset that I didn't get an invite. I don't know what's going on here. Lacey, if you've watched this far into the video, you can now be upset.
Normally, this would be the part of the podcast that I'd ask you guys if you had anything to promote.
Oh, no.
We're going to have something come out soon.
Yeah.
We're going to have shit. We're going to be dropping shit soon. We'll tease it. How about we tease it? We have an animated short.
We have a little animated short that me and Ryan put together. It's bootleg as anything, but that only adds to the charm.
I love that.
It's actually my favorite thing that we've done.
We will promote the heck out of that when it comes out.
It's my favorite thing. And then eventually, when I moved into my apartment, we're going to start doing our own podcast again, which we, of course, will have you guys on.
Oh,
we're going to start doing more Let's Plays, a Straight White Guilt every now and then. We're going to start doing shit now that COVID, knock wood, mask up, etc., is coming to a close. We're going to be seeing each other. I'm going to have my own place. We're going to oil up the gears.
Well, and we've got like hours of footage from. We did a Let's Play of Baba Is You.
That's such a good game.
Yeah. We did a Let's Play of that.
We have an episode done.
I think we've got like 2 episodes done of it.
Yeah.
Which we could post. We just have to kind of. I have to juice those up a little bit. I got free time now, though. I say that every time I have free time, I don't do it. But
there's also just sometimes that like you have two things and you realize that like you could post them right now, but then you'd post two things and have nothing. So like Jacob and I have like 3 acoustic covers that are pretty much done, but we don't want to release any of them yet because then we just release them and they'd be done. We want a season of content.
A season, a Loki, if you will.
A Loki, if you will, yes.
A squirrel girl, if you will.
Yeah, animated short. It's my favorite thing that we're done. That's the tease.
That's the thing that the takeaway. Put that in the episode, not in the title, but in the little.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it. How about that?
Amazing. Well, thank you guys so much for being a part of this. This was so much fun.
It was fun, gang. It was a good
time. I'm glad to be here. You know, we weaseled our way in.
Exactly.
There was no weaseling. You were welcomed with open arms.
Mickey's House of Villains.
Yeah.
The Packcast of Villains.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
All right, everybody.
You got anything funny to say before I click stop on my photo booth?
Well, we gotta close the podcast, bud. Let them end their show.
I'm gonna do it right.
I gotta put a bow on this.
Anyone else have to pee really bad right now?
All right, folks.
You should pee yourself on the podcast. I'm sorry.
For this week's Bellcast, my name is Logan Riley Bruner.
I'm peeing right now. I'm just kidding. I'm Jacob Wade.
I'm Ephraim Birney.
And I'm Ryan Quigley.
Thank you so much. And we will see you all very soon. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Yeah.